Whoa, happy Monday and welcome to the Tech Commute. I'm like super stoked right now just because of the conversation we were having prior. Everybody knows me. I'm Jason. I am the host, community evangelist over at torque.dev. You can always check out our calendar here at torque.community of all the events, including this one. Shout out to AppRight, who is my hero company. Backend as a Service has introduced and launched Sites, which is their hosting feature as well, which is pretty fun. But we are not here to talk about any of that. We're here to talk about Render because you just dropped a bomb on me as far as some exciting news. But we are here with the very wonderful senior DevRel over at GitHub, Army vet as well. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Fantastic to have you here, Andrea Griffith. Do you want to introduce yourself?
What's up, Jason? First of all, I have to do a public apology because I did to Jason what like when guests do it to me. It's like show up 2 minutes before going live, drop out because they clicked the wrong button. So I'm sorry. I'm
No
sorry.
need to be sorry.
But we made it. We're here.
We are here.
Again, I'm Andrea. I'm at a Columbia Dev online, and I have the privilege really of working to support all of you as a senior developer advocate at GitHub.
That is it right there. So, everybody, we were talking about Render. Great news. Andrea will be there this year.
Yes.
Doing, what's the capacity that you're going to be there? Obviously, GitHub sponsoring, but what else are you going to be doing?
Yes, so we're super excited because it's actually going to be about six of us from my team that are coming. From the DevRel team, our director, Ashley, who is phenomenal, and she actually has a lightning talk. I just learned the title a bit ago, and it's something about the joy, what we can learn from toys or toy making for developer tools. Her
Mm.
talks are whimsical, y'all. So I know it's going to be good. Like, I'm excited for it. Then my colleague, Kadesha Kerr, is going to be
Oh,
there.
yep, yep.
That Lady Deb will be there, and herself and I and our other colleague Morgan are putting together a GitHub Copilot with MCP with throwing flavors of not vibe coding but clarity coding, and we're gonna build a Spotify app on the workshop day. So that's gonna happen on, I believe it's on Tuesday or Tuesday, the
Okay.
11th. And I think that's open to everyone. People just have to register for it if they want to be a part of it. It's We're gonna do the morning session, so it should be fun.
Nice.
It should be very our sort of training type sessions are typically very interactive and very much about like I want you to have fun. Like there's enough boring stuff.
Oh,
so
amen.
so we're gonna be very laid back about it. And then on the 12th, I get to give a talk, and I am so thrilled when I was invited to speak at this conference. I about die because I'm first of all, I legit love this conference. I went to the first edition, and then for other conflicting work things, I couldn't go to it back. So for me to go back and now I'm coming as a speaker is like such a big deal. I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and I'm bringing you a fun talk too. But practical.
Oh,
You'll walk away with a tool that hopefully you'll want to use. The demo gods be on my side and nothing breaks
fingers
right
crossed.
before.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
there's something to be said about live demos, though. I just did one last week and immediately ran into problems right out of the gate. Fortunately, I had somebody that was streaming with me that knew what they were doing, so that was awesome. But it makes it fun. It makes it exciting, and I feel like you are the type of person that can kind of riff if you needed to.
Yeah, it's happened. Listen, I've gotten monitors go dead on me. I've gotten a whole computer like collapse before. What did you do? You just keep on trucking. And I feel like
You know,
if anywhere, like the render audience are so like they're nice. They're just nice people. It's like a nice spot of tech in the world. So I feel like even extra confident that if something goes wrong, like I know that the hype squad will be there, so I'll be okay. Hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah, Jeff calling out my issue is user error mostly. That's true. It's not typically a hardware or technical issue. That is all on me. I can appreciate that. Thank you, Jeff. Well, now that we've talked
Yeah.
about conferences and you're speaking at Render, why don't we rewind a little bit? Let's talk about
Mhm.
maybe how you even got started with tech because going from the army, was that something that was always on your radar? Like let's go back to the beginning. Andrea, when did you even start kind of touching code?
Oh, that's such a good question. So I think for me, I was always the person in my group of friends or in my family. You know how you always have that one person that's like, yeah, something's broken, go ask them.
Yep.
Like I was always the person that was like, oh, she knows how to go ahead and get this BlackBerry working, even though like it's not meant to be used for the network that you have. You know, I was
Hmm.
doing shady stuff like that forever because
Oh yeah.
I really enjoy tech. But I grew up in Colombia, South America. Like not to paint a sad picture because I mean, hello, all roads led me to where I am now. But like legit, I didn't have a personal computer until I was well into my adult life. My high school had one computer in the computer lab. There was one computer, and they wouldn't let us touch it
Oh wow.
because it was their one computer, right?
Right.
So I always had like just a deep curiosity for
Hmm.
technology and for how things work. When I joined the army, I couldn't go into any of the fields that I was really interested in because you needed to be a US citizen to obtain a level of security clearance to be able.
Oh.
So, like for me to go work on like intelligence or even anything to do related to technology, all of those things were like completely out of reach. So I joined as doing something that's like personal work. But even then, I was still trying to find like the original programming language Excel, find a better way to like make things easier for people that were working on the same systems, right? Like there
Hmm.
was so much redundancy. So I've always been interested, but I've never actually applied myself to say, okay, I'm gonna learn how to code until well into my adult life. I was working as a construction manager at the time, and
Oh wow.
I decided like, okay, it's time to like stop. You know, like I always did the things like the fun things. Who here didn't like try to hack their MySpace or started
Oh
doing little
yeah.
code things?
Yeah.
Just but like judiciously to say like, okay, no, I'm gonna sit down and learn how to code because this might be a career path I want to explore. Like I was a, a grown up when I
Hmm.
started to do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, so it felt like it fed the side of me that was always curious and wanting to learn how to do things.
Hmm.
And then there was a big part of it that was kind of like honestly despite driven. Like people pissed me off when I started talking about it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I do a lot
No.
of things because of that. Like it was like, well, what? You're in your 30s, like you have a family, you have bills, that you can just change careers. Like you can just like pivot
Yeah.
into something completely different. And what are you gonna do? Go back to school? I'm like, am I gonna go back to school? Like, no, that wasn't in the cards. So there were a lot of like, no, this isn't a field for you. And this is like I'm talking like 2015 time frame. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of brown people out there talking about being
Mm.
in tech either. So I definitely felt like, oh, I gotta show up and I'm gonna prove everybody wrong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. I love that. What was the turning point? Like, what was that moment? You're in construction management. You probably, I mean, for me at least on paper, that sounds like that would be a decently paying job.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was also not like that my life completely changed when I came into tech full time. Like so many of our stories, right? Like
Hmm.
I was doing okay. I was making an
Yeah.
okay living. Funny enough, like one of my favorite things about that job was that I used to have all these subcontractors, and half of them like didn't speak English, and so I was sort of like their bridge, right? I was like their PM.
Yeah.
But my favorite part was like getting them to actually use the iPads that they had, or like teaching them how to do things. So it was like, listen, you can do this easier. So
Yeah.
I was still in that on that sort of like, oh, we can fix this with tech. Why are we fixing it with tech?
Yeah.
And generously enough, I guess I had a good situation where I could take like an hour lunch, you know, more than most people really that are
Yeah.
working in
Yeah.
construction fields. So I started doing free co-camp in that hour because I was like, you know what, I was trying to hack something to like fix a little problem that I had. And then I'm like, you know what, I need to start with fundamentals. Like at this point, I'm only just throwing stuff, copy and pasting from Stack Overflow all the time, and then being shocked because things weren't working. So I was like, I'm gonna start like teaching myself like fundamentals. And like even though I've been able to like hack my life through that, like let's try and actually learn something.
Yeah.
So I started doing that during lunch. And I just hit a point where I was like, you know what, this is really something that I really want to do. And start looking for opportunities to like either be a part of communities. I joined the Operation Code community, which is pivotal on me come into tech, and they are an organization that is a nonprofit, and they support veterans and their families who are interested in career in technology and technology adjacent fields. Uh,
Awesome.
so joining that community really was like the turning point, because then it was like, oh, I'm interested in helping maintain this website. Like, how can I contribute to this? Then I was introduced to open source, which just kind of opened like
That was
doors.
the floodgates right
That was
there.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. And you can kind of see the foreshadowing there, I think, when you were helping the workers kind of work with the tech, and how your kind of interest for like educating and helping and figuring out how
Mhm.
things work, and then showing people how to use it to work smarter, not harder. Um,
Yep.
I love that. And shout out to Free Code Camp. So you're
Oh,
self-taught,
amazing.
self-taught
Yeah.
developer?
Yep, yep. So I did a couple of like, like many of us that buy all the courses. Don't ask me how many I actually finished, but I did a couple of like online things. Like, I remember in this hysterical that I wound up at GitHub because like Ruby was my first like real
Wow.
programming language that I
Okay.
wanted to learn how to, and so I joined. My gosh, what was it? Skill Crush, I think it was the name of it. Actually met the founder of that years later at a conference. I
Oh
was like,
wow.
you don't even understand, like that, whatever it was, like 29.99 a month changed my life. And then also I've been able to meet Asia as well from Free Code Camp, and it's
Mhm,
also like, what, are you kidding me? That was amazing free resources. So I am self-taught. I've learned a lot since I've been obviously on the job,
mhm.
and I think it's interesting for people that are self-taught, this point in time where so much of what we're supposed to know is kind of being put into other technologies, that it's like you don't have to even worry about that anymore.
Yeah,
Just like it's natural language your way into this. But super grateful also that GitHub was one of the few companies that did not require a computer science degree for you to work there. They are very good like that, always have been.
that's awesome.
It's
So
more like,
let's
show me what you can do. Yeah.
yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit, because we go from construction
Hmm.
um to straight to GitHub. That was the first your first role was at
Yeah.
GitHub.
Well, I work for Amazon. Shout out to
Okay.
Amazon. Yeah, I work for Amazon doing like digital customer support, which shout out to every single support person in the world, because that is one of the most, whew, it's challenging, and you really gotta like, it takes a special kind of person
Yeah.
to work support and do it well and not go absolutely bananas. So I worked for them doing just like really low level like digital support for the Kindle product. Did that for a while, and then I was still contributing to operation code and still volunteer and still learning about open source. And there's an opportunity for an apprenticeship in California, but they wouldn't say who it was for. They just said that it was open to two organizations. One of them was Operation Code, and the other one was Code 40/20/20/40. They're like this massive organization that
Yeah.
helps underserved communities in San Francisco. And so they say, well, it's open for everyone who wants to apply. And at the time, the person that was in charge of Operation Code reached out to me, and they're like, hey, you've been thinking about actually like diving in and trying to switch careers. Of course, I'm like terrified. I'm like, I got bills. I can just like walk away from my job. But it was like, there's this thing coming up, apply for it. Like, we're trying to get as many applicants as we can to like give opportunities. So hopefully I'll pick someone from here. There were 4,000 people who applied to this.
Wow.
I did not think in a million years it was going to be me. I mean, it took like a 6-month interview process. I had like 8 different interviews, so many hours.
Whew.
When they finally called me back, I was like, well, I guess, they're calling me to tell me, yeah, sorry, we forgot to tell you you didn't get the job. So yeah, so it's that opportunity is basically what intro my career to GitHub. I worked as an apprentice, so it was a contractor role.
Mhm.
Moved to San Francisco for the time that I was an apprentice, and then I left GitHub, went and worked for a Spanish startup for about a year, and then a role opened up at GitHub that was sort of similar to what I've been doing as an apprentice. And my old manager sent me a message saying like, we got some headcount, like please apply for this and come back. and
Wow.
and I'm so grateful I did.
Wow. Testament to like staying in good standing with people at previous roles
Oh, for
too.
sure, for sure. And I'm not gonna lie, listen, and I love GitHub. I have a lot of loyalty to a lot of people that were there at the time. But I was pissed because at the end of my apprenticeship, they were like, "You done such incredible job. Now bye." And I'm like, "Wait,
Yeah.
what?"
Yeah, that must have been hard. What was that kind of like at the end of that apprenticeship? Like, what was kind of going through your head? You sort of threw caution into the wind a little bit.
Big
You know, you
time.
didn't know what was going to happen, and now this apprenticeship's gone. Like, what was that like in your life at that time?
Oh no, I mean it was definitely a kind of oh my gosh time because I
Yeah.
uprooted my family to California, and I mean the understanding was always I always knew it was going to be a temporary thing.
Mm-hmm.
And not to discourage people from trying things like this because listen, if I'm not, I wouldn't have the career I have today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, the understanding is that it was going to be a temporary thing, and at the time, there were a couple of roles that were in support that maybe I interviewed for a couple of roles, and it just I didn't click with the manager for whatever reason. It didn't work out. So
Mm-hmm.
I was disappointed because I really thought like, oh, this is gonna be a good shift. Especially because I dove in. Like I did so much in the short time I was there because I wanted to kind of soak it all in. So
Mm-hmm.
um it was disappointing, but it also really kind of solidify I really wanted to do this. So I didn't even start to look back at like, okay, well, am I going back into construction manager? I'm going to try and get a general services job, which I work as a army contractor before. I'm like, I don't think I want to go back to that. Like, I'm like, the role that I'm leaving from here, this is going to be a pivot into tech or bust. Like,
Mm.
that's it. So, if anything,
Yeah.
it kind of kicked me a little bit more in the butt, really, to say, like, it gave me a little bit more motivation to like work harder, learn more. And
Yeah.
I was like, I just got to get a job, obviously, because bills. But not going to lie, the dream was always to work there. I mean, it was 2017 GitHub. Like, what?
Yeah, that's awesome. And you did. You did. So that in and of itself, like you achieved that. That's an awesome feeling to be able to say you did. So so we're at GitHub, and what did you immediately go into the DevRel sector, or did you have a separate role there? Like, what was the transition then? What was the additional learning that you had to take on from that role to where you are now?
Oh, that's such a good question. No, I've been so many places
Hmm.
at GitHub. So when I came back, my original role as an apprentice, I was a community manager for the Atom text editor. Anyone here use
Mm,
Atom?
hmm.
Like the goat, love it. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about that in my talk next week,
Oh,
which
nice, nice.
I'm really happy about that. A great community of contributors, maintainers. I was super sad when it was sunset, but it's life. Anyways, so from there I came back to do it was community support, but working for actual the support organization. So I was coming in to do support, not specific to an open source project, but just general support at GitHub. We were kicking off like the first version of what the community forums are, which are now in discussions and leaving the platform. But the first instance of that was a discourse instance. And then it went through like a series of different iterations. We were trying to do it outside the platform. It didn't work out as well as
Mm,
it should have.
yeah.
So that was my first role coming back. I was working with the support organization doing sort of digital support. If you ever years ago used to use the Twitter handle at GitHub help and like scream and like tell it like horrible things, like that was me reading those messages and then going into Zendesk and trying to figure out how we could like make it right. So I was that was purely support. It was purely support. I was still doing a lot of community facing things only because I love open source and I've been from Colombia. I always have like just immense gratitude for Latin people that have come out and done careers and are able to like come back and say, "Oh, this is how you could do it." So I that was something that I always wanted to do. I'm like, if I can in any way give back, like connect with me, let me answer questions. So I was still doing things like that, just talking in general about career switching, doing a lot of teaching because support is that really is
Mm,
kind of figure
yeah.
out how those pain points that people are having every single day that they shouldn't have, and taking that being a bridge between our users and then of course our support team and then product and engineer. And that's always something that it was always there for me. I was always like, why is this X, Y, or Z so hard? Like it shouldn't be. So I'm like that person that's constantly screaming into not a void, but just screaming.
Yeah.
um, So that was my first role coming back, and I stayed in support for about 3 years. Yeah, almost 3 years, until the DevRel team had an opening. Actually, but I came in as a product manager. So I was working
Okay.
product, but working more product that was focused on our anything that was, I guess, public facing.
Mhm.
That it was an interaction with the platform that had also like sprinkles of DevRel. That was my gig. So during that time we did a lot of stuff like with discussions, with localization, all fun stuff that were like just things that were important to me. So super grateful for that opportunity to join the team and do that. Shout out to Martin Woodward because he's the person who actually
Oh
got
yeah,
me
Martin.
there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. And then after that, I've transitioned into basically just doing DevRel. So DevRel at GitHub, there's two teams. We have an enterprise focused team. These are the folks that are like going out and doing like executive briefs and those sort of things. And then we have another team, which is the team that myself, Kadesha, are in. That we are in. My boss Cassidy, who's on maternity leave right now, and we are the open source and sort of like non-sell you things DevRel team. So we get to do a lot of fun stuff.
Nice. I prefer that team. Also, shout out to Cassidy and congratulations to
Yes.
her. We had her at the beginning of the year on a panel. She's fantastic. So,
Oh,
uh,
she's amazing. It's
yeah.
and I love to say that like and listen, because my situation is a little bit different because I do work with Latam a lot. And so
Mhm.
sometimes I'm the only person so I do talk to customers, but yeah, not like sales, that's a whole different animal. And like I
Oh
love all
yeah.
of you salespeople, like keep the lights on, but it's
Let
it's
them
a
do their jobs. Just let them do
yeah,
it. I don't want it. You do it.
for
Um,
sure. Y'all cook and and I get to
exactly.
do the other side of things.
Yeah, that I mean, honestly, that's what I kind of like about the community management aspects of my role too.
Hmm.
It's supporting all the sales, if you will. How did you know you were ready to jump into DevRel? It's again a completely different animal, but based on your experiences, like how did you decide to apply for that?
Yeah, so that's a really great question. I think honestly, like everything that I ever done at GitHub, even my first role, everything was DevRel adjacent.
Mm,
One of the best compliments I ever got, and when I finally was like, okay, it's official, you're in the team, they were like, you've been DevRel, even though like it's like, yeah,
yeah.
you've been that person. Like I was helping other companies put together their DevRel programs before I was DevRel myself, just because I sort of knew. I'm like, this is users' pay points. Companies try to do this, and they sometimes do it very poorly because they try to make this like a pipeline for sales or a pipeline for free labor for whatever thing they're trying to get across or get people to,
Hmm.
shield for them. And I always been team like, no, it has to be real. It has to be authentic. You can't shove things down people's throats. Like developers see through BS
Yeah.
like from miles away. Like that's what most folks don't understand about this market. I'm like, you can't come up with stuff and pretend like fake it. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
work like that. And
Nope.
it's so easy to lose people's trust. Like once you're not that trusted brand, you're done. So I always been a huge advocate for users, just by being a user myself, but also understanding the power of this platform. This is a really special place. Like I don't think anywhere else I could work and have the impact that I do at a scale that I do here. So I take that very seriously, and I just felt like, okay, everything I ever done is sort of adjacent to that, but I've never actually been like that. Like it's never been that the role. So when there was an opportunity to do it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess that will be a fit. I think it will work. And I mean,
Sure.
so far so good. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, you're doing it seems like you're doing great. I've seen a lot of your streams and videos and a lot of the interviews you do as well. They're very good. Where did you kind of start to lean into doing those things like your talks and again more the public facing stuff because there's DevRel that's online and visible all the
Oh,
time
for sure.
like us. But where did you get your start doing that? Because a lot of
Yeah,
people kind of struggle there sometimes.
for sure. And honestly, it's not I think it's more of a and this is gonna sound super cheesy, y'all, but it's more of like a service type of thing to me.
Mm,
Because I much rather not be on X and like not like I much rather live in like the background. But the problem is that if I do that, then I'm not talking to open source projects. I'm not. holding the
Yeah.
space for you to bring your project and get thousands of other people to look at it and to want to contribute. So that was a huge piece of what the work that we were doing that we weren't doing enough of, in my opinion.
Hmm.
So I sort of asked a little bit of permission, a little bit of forgiveness. I'm like, we need to kick this up a notch. Like, we need to, there is so much talent. Selfishly, I wanted to highlight talent from South America because I'm like, of course,
Sure.
like I got a lot of amazing people that I know that are doing incredible things, and they just don't have the space to like say, hey, and being sort of backed by a brand that's saying, okay, yeah, bring your project and we're gonna discuss it, we're gonna demo it, and let's get you more contributors, let's get you sponsors. So that was a big mission for me, to bring awareness to all the incredible things that, there's a lot of great companies that are doing big things for open source, but there's still, we depend still in like that single person somewhere in their house that's doing this on the weekends. And being able to shine a little bit of light on those type of situations for me was super important. So definitely kicked up that was a motivation,
Yeah.
me trying to get more streaming out, more in language streaming, because we were doing none of that. So now we do a
Hmm.
lot of streams in Spanish, we do streams in Portuguese. Just really trying to like meet developers where they are. That was sort of motivating factor, but also like, listen, it's not, and you do a lot of streams yourself, so it's not glamour and
Yeah.
like all the time. It is that, especially, I don't know what your production situation is here, but I'm a production of one.
Yeah.
Whenever
That
we go live,
same.
it's
Well,
like,
I have
yeah,
this live DJ back here, but she doesn't count. So,
that's it. That's it.
Yeah, spoiler alert, it is a video. It's not a live person. How I mean, kind of one of the themes that I'm seeing through your whole journey here has been like representation.
Mm.
Like, how important is that to you, and where do you see like deficiencies that what you're doing now is kind of helping improve?
Oh gosh, I mean, I would love to think that is making a difference, but we still have such a long ways to go. I mean, sometimes I get really optimistic, and then something happens, and I'm like,
Mm,
the work is not done. It's not done. But something interesting is happening now, especially with all this mm, vibe coding, and like, there's a lot of fields that are being like brought in to include people that maybe before wouldn't consider they could be a part of it, right? So
hmm.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's great to have that diversity of thought and representation. For us, for me personally, like, I work at GitHub. There's 150 million developers.
Wow.
I feel like when I joined, we used to be a very US focused company.
Yeah.
Everything was very San Francisco Bay Area sort of centric. And that's not it. Like, this is a global company. If we're going to reach a billion developers, you need to talk to developers in every corner of the world. And having that inclusion also is important in the way that you're showing up. So, uh, every stream, every piece of content, it can't be the same person, it can't be the same look, it needs to be different thoughts, different backgrounds, different abilities. So I'm grateful that we've been able to have that balance, that we can actually show sort of a wide range of content. But we still need to do more. Like, there is that work is never done. For me, it's important because, like I said, when I joined, I mean, now we have an Octogatos organization in GitHub, which I'm very proud to have been part of the people that set that up a few years
Hmm.
ago. That's our like Latinos and tech at GitHub, and
Nice.
we've tried to do a lot to like increase representation and also look after each other, right? Like,
Hmm.
take care of your people. Oh my God, I remember when I joined, I was one of two. Like, there were two people in San Francisco that was
Wow.
like, oh, that's a Latina person. Yeah, that's the other Latina person. Like, it's wild. Now we have a group with, I mean, it's not remarkable numbers, but still, like, I think it's like 90 something of us now.
What?
Yeah, that's pretty good still. That for
It's not remarkable. It's almost 100. You started
well,
it
it's true.
too.
That's
You
true. It's
started
true.
it too. Give
It's
yourself a
true.
little bit of praise there. It's well deserved. That's huge
It's
growth.
true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. And it's important. I mean, I'm telling you, if you can see it, you can be it. Like, I never want anyone to question they belong in this field, because guess what, you do. And
Mm,
even if you're new to it, if you're just starting, if you wrote your first hello world, like, you still have feedback. And at this point, honestly, I feel like even your feedback might be even more important. I might even want to talk to you more than someone that's been using GitHub, the platform, for years, because you're looking at it through a completely different lens with a fresh perspective, and there is so much value on that. So, yes, it's important that we like give ourselves our space.
Preach. Preach. I love that. Everybody down here is hitting you with positive comments.
Oh,
I
so sweet.
found what you're saying to be very inspiring. And I think it is important. I think those are like the foundations of a community, is that support system for everybody. Um, you mentioned a term that we're hearing a lot of, vibe coding. And you said something earlier, and I can't remember the term you used, but it was like vibe coding adjacent.
Clarity coding.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yes. I
clarity
have
coding.
never heard that before, and I
I
want
made it
you.
up.
But I love it. But I love it. Like, so please tell us, like, what the hell
Yeah,
is that?
I made it up, and I wish I could share a direct link. I'm gonna ask folks, because we actually wrote this newsletter last month or the moment before last, and it was sort of a I'm not gonna say it was a manifesto, but it was basically like the same thing that I do every day. I sit on a soapbox and I scream,
Hmm.
but in writing, because there is a ton of confusion out there about what's good and what's bad about this, what's accessible, what's not. Should you do it? Should you not? Do people even need to learn to program? And every day you see a different person that has a huge following on social media saying, "No, we don't need developers anymore," or "You're gonna be replaced," or like there was a ton of just misunderstanding. I think it's like the new gatekeeping, honestly. I see it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think like they're steering us up so that we're confused and we don't take advantage of what's out there. And what's out there is this opportunity for you to clarity code. What I mean by that is you're going to use the tools that the vibe coders use, right? You're using the same tools. I'm wearing the co-pilot hat right now. He's bestie sometimes. Some days we fight. But I'm all about you as a human being, and beyond code, augment your abilities with the resources that you have to get to clarity. So it doesn't mean, and again, back to being, use what makes you happy. You want to go use another tool, use the other tool. Use the tool that's making you bring the best part of you to work, that's making your life easier, that's making you want to show up. There's so many boring, awful things that I normally had to do, like even little dumb things, like writing down a markdown table. Little dumb things that used to be like such a tiny little thorn in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about that anymore because I've been able to like bring these tools into my clarity coding, right? And so it's just a different way of looking at it, more about thinking about how you can augment your understanding and your capacities, not in a way that's going to replace your expertise. You need the machine doesn't have creativity. Like
Mm-hmm.
you still need to be there, but just use the tools in a way that are going to do more the augmenting than replacing. There was a study that came out, and I gotta find it and share it with y'all because I've been thinking about that a lot recently too. Something about how when you're learning, and I can't remember what university it was, but when they were using, letting them use ChatGPT or something, some tool they were able to use,
Mm-hmm.
but there was a dynamic where the question was, are people not learning truly because they're interacting with AI to get these
Mm.
answers? And then the result of the study, I'm paraphrasing, it was basically because you're having the more honest interactions. Because I am not embarrassed to ask how to center a div if I don't freaking remember to Copilot. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
just having those conversations, even at the like, oh my God, I feel, and I have days like this when I'm like, wow, you are really bad. Like, how are you even here? Like, I have those more. Yo, hacking this thing for next week, I was like, whatever in the world made you think? Like, because I shot for the stars and I was like, no, I'm not coming back from it. I'm going to get it working. This is going to be done. Uh, Took me forever, but I finally, like, you go through that cycle, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I am so dumb. How am I ever going to find out to like, oh my God, I'm a genius. The code works, everything compiled. It's beautiful. I can't wait to show it. But having those interactions and using all these adjacent technologies to make yourself like feel as competent or even achieve the level of understanding that you didn't have before, I'm here for it. I'm not here for the tap, tap, tap. Don't look at what you're doing. Keep committing your API keys. Don't use Git. Like, oh my God, no, please, the horror. Like, all these conversations happening about the MCP server, like there is a lot of, so they will come out and say, well, this, there's a private, there is a security concern here, but it's all human errors, all us
Yeah.
not using, the least privilege access, not taking good fundamentals with us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all for that. Like we need to more clarity code than just vibe code.
I love that. Clarity code is the new. We're gonna get that trending. That's
Yeah.
my thing. How do you How do you kind of decide? Because you've talked about all these tools, you've talked about all these products and everything, and that's out there, and we have a very shiny object syndrome problem in tech.
Do we?
I mean,
Yes.
we have it everywhere, but I've never noticed it more than in tech.
Oh,
How
100%.
how do you kind of figure out like what tools you should use, what tools you want to use without trying everything and then just deciding like, okay, this works for me? Because there's got to be a certain point where trying everything,
Hmm.
you're not learning anything, and you're probably not getting anything done. It's like once I set up my environment and then I switch to something else, now I've spent time going to that one and trying to figure out how to do it. Like you're not gaining anything. So for you, what are some of your tips, like things that you
Mm.
do to avoid that?
I love this question. I love this question because as someone that has to create content for work, but I mean, friends, I'm employed by GitHub, so I'm going to create
Yeah.
content about GitHub, right? Um, but there is a lot of people out there that are creating content and that are promoting tools that are garbage. And they do it because it's a pay. And look, I'm team get paid. So if you're getting paid, that's what's up. But I do take into consideration a lot about who's talking about what and how. If you're a tool and you want to get my attention, you win me with practical examples. You don't win me with, like this is the thing that you could possibly do in the fifth or sixth generation of the thing. What can I do with it right now? That's
Mm.
a big thing. So it needs to be more than MVP. It needs to be something that's gonna be, if I'm gonna take time off to like investigate this, like let's see a really good example of what it's doing and what problem it fixed for you. And then if it's similar to a problem that I have, then okay, it's worth the investment of time. But I do take a quick like little bird's eye view of like who's out there chilling this thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I make decisions based on it because honestly, like um I've been, unfortunately, it's just it's too easy for people to get caught into
Mm.
wasting their time. Again, I'm team use the tool that makes you happy. For me personally, I need to see like some trusted voices talking about it, some trusted voices demoing it, and it needs to be free. Like you're never gonna get me to pay you for a trial and put my credit card number and something. It's not gonna happen. Like no, there is no. Are you kidding me? Like I much rather sponsor someone that's got an open source project that's like doing something similar. So that's another consideration also. Is this a subscription thing? Do I need to give you all my money now? The points of entry for privilege and access. Why do you need to be able to read and write on every single repo when I'm just trying to test this one thing? All those things I take into consideration, but it's hard because there is a lot of
Yeah.
noise. There is so much noise right now, and it's hard to discern. I think for whoever, look at the thing that's the most compelling problem that you have right now, and then just kind of stick it to the wall. Like, okay, if there are three things that are saying that they can fix this for me, then do that sort of general bird's eye view. Who's chilling out this thing? Do I need to pay for it to try it out? Right? And it's does it have like an actionable product that I can use, or is more a promise of a thing? And then hopefully go from there. But there is no straight answer. I don't have
No,
one.
no, I hear I've fallen into that many times myself. And then at the end of the day, I just go back to my normal tools.
All
Yeah,
faithful.
yeah, always.
Yeah.
Um, you mentioned when you were a couple minutes ago about like that high and low feeling where you're the best developer, I'm shit. I'm back to
Yeah.
the best, but now I'm back down here again. What do you do to work yourself back up the hill?
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I know that this has been said before and it's gonna sound super redundant, but yeah, there is nothing in the world that brings you like when you step away from a problem.
Mm.
It's magical and it is hard. And if you're a super high strung person, I have ADHD. When I get hyper focused on something, I don't want to eat, breathe, or do nothing else until I get that one thing done. Like I can't physically, I feel ill. But to have the discipline to say, you know what? No, I'm gonna close this out. Let's just go ahead and do our little commit, walk away. I know it's broken. I'm walking away from it. Giving yourself the grace that maybe your brain just needs to break. Unbelievable. So many times I've walked away from things and I come back and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like the answer was right there in front of me. But once you're so hyper focused and especially if you started playing that down like imposter syndrome, you're on the down of the roller coaster when you're like, oh my gosh, I suck. It's hard to get yourself out of that. other than getting yourself physically out of that. Close your machine,
Yeah.
walk away, and then you come back and then you look at it from a different lens. One thing that's a big thing. I'm super grateful. I'm in a team right now where I have a ton of psychological safety. Like we talk about everything, and we're like our little Slack channel is amazing, and like we come in and we ask questions, and I never feel like, oh my God, they're gonna think I'm so dumb because I'm asking this. So if you have a space like that, use that. Whether it be, and it might not be at work, it might be another, like it might be a Discord server that you're in with your pals. Like if you have someone like that in your life that you're like, hey, I know this might be really trivial, but what do you think about X, Y, or Z? Oh my God, that's huge. That's huge. Because then you have somebody else looking at your problem, and then you feel a little bit better. You get a little boost of confidence. Um, Best case scenario, they can give you the answer right away. Worst case scenario, you can join heads and think it through together. But walking away is the biggest thing, though. I
Yeah.
have wasted so much on my life just stubbornly
Yeah.
sticking to something and beating it with a stick until it was like there is no way out,
Yep.
only to walk
I
away, come back, and then it's like, oh wow, I am the greatest developer of all times. Are you
I
kidding me?
I am the exact same way. And I get frustrated. I think the longer I sit, I'm like, I know I can figure this out. And then an hour goes by and I'm like, oh my God, I know I can figure this out. And that's
Yeah.
another hour when I should have just walked away. I think I think that's something everybody could work on a little bit. And yes, shout out to the Torque Discord. It's a great and very supportive community. Thank you,
Oh, I
Jordan.
love it. That's a nice place. See, we
Yeah,
need more nice
nice.
places.
We
We need more
do.
nice places.
We do. Speaking of that, we'll shift a little bit here. You mentioned you have a family.
I do, yes.
Yes. How many kids?
I have two kids. I have a 12-year-old, soon to be 13 in November, and then I have a 9-year-old. My 9-year-old turned one in San Francisco, which is
Oh
wild to
wow.
think. Like
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why I was like, we're either all going or no one's going, because I had a baby, like a
Yeah.
tiny infant, and I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, no, I gotta bring him. So yeah, so I had my two little boys, and then when we moved to San Francisco, we took our giant golden noodle, Charlie, who's 12. He came with us too. He went to the GitHub
Wow.
headquarters to work with me like twice. He was terrified of the floor, so we only did that twice.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. And now we have another mutt that if you ever join a stream, he's the one that loves to bark, Wilson. Like he's constantly
That
coming
sounds
in
about
and
right.
just yeah. So
Yeah.
he's the open source Friday dog, like
Nice.
unofficial pet.
We have a Torque pet as well. His name is Chip. Every now and again, you'll hear him. Not today. He's been pretty quiet today. He hasn't made an appearance in a while because he's usually Chippathy. He's
Chippity.
been pretty bad lately, so he's just a pup. He's not even a year old.
Oh,
Um,
oh yeah.
so so as far as the family goes,
Hmm.
how are you balancing the role you're in with family time? Like that
Mm,
the infamous work-life balance.
I love that. I am complete shit at it. I'm not gonna lie, Jason. It's a work in progress. Like and I have to. The thing is, I have to work at it. Like it's not something that comes natural to me. I struggle. I struggle. Last year, I traveled so much for work. Luckily, this year has not been as hectic, but last year
Yeah.
there was a lot of travel, and it's tough. I like to think that we're so because we have no family nearby. Like we always been on our own kind of thing. So we've developed a good system. I have a fantastic partner too, to where we're both. He also cares deeply about his career. So we're sort of each other's cheerleaders, right? So it's like sometimes you got me, sometimes I got you. And we always try and be there for our kids. I try to never miss things that like I don't if I don't have to miss it, I won't. But it's hard. It's tough. It's tough, especially if
Yeah.
you enjoy your work. I like to think that my kids are seeing like a good work ethic, but I'm doing a shit job at showing the good balance. I need to get better at that for sure, because I don't want them to grow up thinking they have to work like this. I don't know if this is an
Yeah.
immigrant thing or what. I need therapy. I need lots of therapy for it, for real. But it's tough. It's a struggle. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to be super present when I'm with them, but like for example, right now, like school is out for summer. And so they have a couple of camps and things. But for the most part, I work from home. Like, so when I'm here, I'm in this office.
Hmm.
Even if they're here, I'm like, I am working.
Yeah.
And so I just need to find a little bit more balance. I think it's tough for anyone who has a young family, for sure. So many people that when I was first coming into tech that didn't have kids are starting to have children, and
Hmm.
like occasionally I get the message that is like, wow, this is hard. I'm like, I know.
It
I
really
know.
is.
I know. But it's also like, it's so great though. Like I want them to grow up seeing like someone that loves their job. I'm like, do whatever it is that you want to do if it makes you happy. um so as long as it's making us happy and okay, and of course giving us opportunities, and we're here for it. But I'm working on it. I have no excuse. I'm working on it.
Yeah, no, it is hard. I mean, I know a lot of people in our community I've talked to about working from home, and my son, he's 8, just turned 8, will occasionally come up or want to do something. It's like, how
Yeah.
do you balance that? It's like I have to work, but I also have to be a parent.
Yeah.
So w- I like your idea of like it's teaching them the work ethic, but you know what do you do to remind yourself like you are doing great, you are doing the
mm,
right thing?
mm. Like sometimes, and I mean, this is not something that happens all the time, but I think from time to time you kind of can see that they actually, kids are very intuitive, and
Mm.
they
Hmm.
they they know a lot more than sometimes we give them credit for. And from time to time there'll be like a little nugget of a comment that I overhear when I'm like, okay, where it kind of like says something about being proud, or oh,
Yeah.
my mom works, even though, I mean, they might not have an idea of what it is that I do, but I take those moments and it just like fills my heart, because I'm like, okay, I didn't grow up with that sort of like, you can be anything. Like that was not still in me at all.
Hmm.
Like it was more like, you can hope that you can get a meal. Like,
Yeah.
so for me to be able to raise my children with the, and look, boys, the sky is the limit. Oh my God. That's enough to keep me motivated, to keep me wanting to come and work hard. And I need to work harder at being more intentional in separating myself from work, and like when I go on vacation, take Slack out of my phone and do all those things, because it's
Yeah.
important, right? I'm
Yeah.
in a really amazing team right now where our boss really tries to instill that work-life balance. We're really terrible at it. I'm talking about you too, Kadesha. I don't know if you're watching, but I'm talking about you. We're really terrible at it. Part of it is because we do enjoy our work, right? So
Yeah.
it's tough, but it's kind of like you get those little moments where it's like so rewarding for me to be able to see, like, yeah, like you want to do this. I don't know if they probably have no interest in being in tech, which is hilarious. Like whatsoever. They could.
Yeah.
They both done little things here and there, but I'm like, that's not gonna be their jam, and I'm okay with it. I just want to be able to provide for them so that they don't have to worry about things like I did. Like
Yeah.
that's it's different.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think you're doing a great job. We
Thank
all
you.
all have a different path, and it's always different, and that balance is hard for everybody.
Mm,
I've never talked to, in the couple hundred interviews that I've done, anyone that knows how to do it. So give yourself a little grace, and just keep plugging away. I love that. Um, yeah, wow. What kind of stuff have your kids built? Like, what's their tech experience?
Oh, I love it. So my oldest was into Scratch a lot,
Oh
like
yeah,
a few
yeah.
years ago. So funny because when I left GitHub, one of the jobs that I applied for was actually working for the Scratch team.
Oh,
And man,
funny.
I really wanted to get that job, only
Yeah,
because this is like my kid is like peak in it,
yeah.
like just loving it. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, how cool would that be? But they played a little bit around with that, built a
Mhm.
couple of little games, wrote a little bit of Python. Python is such an accessible programming language, I
Yeah.
think. But recently, really, because they're, especially my oldest, is very into music. So I think for me, the hook to technology is gonna be to find a way to like bring music into it, and then
Yeah.
that might actually pique their interest again. Because for the most part now they're like, no, not super interested. And my youngest is, listen, what's interesting to him is playing Fortnite
Yeah. Yeah.
and playing soccer. And so he does understand that Fortnite is a game that it's software. So he does
Mhm.
get that. He does get, like, we went to see a Minecraft movie and he was like, you work for the people that own Minecraft, don't you? And I'm like, yes, I do, son.
Yeah.
So, it's funny, but every now and then they get into little tiny little things they want to hack on, and I'm
Yeah.
all for it. But I'm never want to be that person that's like, you have to do like
Yeah.
this. This is the way. I would like. I would love for them to um, be in some kind of technology related field. But I think I'm gonna have a for sure a guitar player slash maybe touring artist, and my youngest. I mean, it's a toss up. Being a Fortnite gamer a job.
It is. They have professional gamers.
That might be
Uh,
it. I don't
there
know.
you go. No, I love that. I mean, hey, your goal is to provide them with whatever opportunities in
Exactly.
life that make them happy, right? Oh, I lost focus here. There we go. Um, no, that's really cool. So, what are you working on? Do you spend any time doing any sort of passion projects for yourself at this point? Now that we've talked
Mm.
about the work-life balance and trying to focus on family, but also the career, like what does Andrea do for herself?
Fun times. That's an amazing question. So that's actually in my goal set. So before Cassidy went on maternity leave, she made us do this list of things that basically for an accountability thing, right? So she's
Yeah,
like, so when I come back, you just tell me two things that you're gonna do. And I think one of my things was there's little passion things that I've wanted to build up or things that I've worked on that I'm like basically like my website is just Kitelo right now, like just like it works, it's feeding what I needed to feed, But there is a lot of little things that I'm like, just a lot of home automation things that I find super interesting that I love to invest the time on. Like I love to dig into home assistant more. Like I'm all about that. Like do things for me, so I don't have to think
yeah,
about it. And those things just they're fun, but they take time, right?
sure, they
So
do.
I have a curiosity for that. I hope this summer I'm gonna be able to take a couple of weeks off, and that's gonna be part of the when Cassidy comes back. I need to say that I did the thing that I said I was gonna do. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. But really it's so it's like I am such a nerd, Jason. Like the things that make me happy, it's not that difficult, really. It's not that hard. So I just need to find a way to like really dedicate the time to like those projects that have nothing to do maybe with work, but are more like for fun for me because I want to be able to walk into a room and have like the lights turn on a certain color and be able to do that a certain way. I don't know, but it's tough to find the time to do things like that too, for sure.
It is. It's very hard. I actually just I got off the plane because I came back from New York from the hackathon I was hosting, uh, and unboxed my new Nest thermostat and then set that up with
Nice.
the temperature sensors. So yeah, we got the Gen 4. We had the Gen 3, but I upgraded. It's very nice. But that takes time. It takes time to like you physically install it and then you
Hmm.
have to figure out all the nuances of it. And I've got a bunch of like if then I, IFTT commands that run through our
Love
Google
it.
Home system. So yeah, it's cool. I like that stuff as well. All right, let's pivot a bit. We have a couple minutes left, and again, thank you, Andrea, so much for spending some time hanging out
Oh
with
my
us
gosh,
today.
no, thank you. This has been so chill.
But
Thank
we
you.
started with render talk, and I
Yes,
want to pivot back to render talk
yes,
because one, I'm excited to meet you. You're going to be there. You're going to be doing a talk and a workshop, correct?
yes. And we actually have a panel. I need to figure out if that's gonna be open or it might be just a Microsoft only thing. But we're doing something on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for sure. So there's a talk, there's a workshop, and of course, come and see my skips talk. Ashley, I'm sure it's gonna be whimsical and fun. And please come. And I saw people on the chat saying that they wish they could come.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, if there are some people, I believe that Andrea has a couple tickets
Yes,
for render
yes.
available. So, if anybody is interested, and we are trying to get so many people there, and I know a lot of people in the tour community are already attending, but if you were looking for a ticket, we have more. Please feel free to DM me after or shoot me a message on Discord, do whatever. But we have two passes. So, please drop me a line if you're interested in coming. And then you can come and hang out with me and Andrea.
Yes.
Also, maybe let's talk about swag a little bit because
Oh my gosh. Y'all, listen, I don't even know if I can say. I'm gonna ask before I get in trouble. But I have to say I can give hints. So we have one swag giveaway that is, in my opinion, the best swag giveaway that we have ever done for a conference. I'm not gonna lie, I've been going to conference for GitHub since like 2018, and this is the best, and even in our own conferences. So we're bringing a piece of swag that's exclusive to Render ATL, and there is swag that's gonna be there that you can participate in an activity and win. And we got some really cool, fun surprises there as well. But then there is one main big giveaway. I'm gonna say it if I get in
Do
trouble.
it.
And
Do it.
so, okay.
Just do it.
So you can participate. It's actually my teammate Kadesha coded this little app. I think it's what it's like a game app. I'm not sure. I'm fuzzy on details of how to win it, but I'm gonna tell you what you can win. So you can win a pair of custom Nike Air Ones. I gotta tell y'all, they are beautiful. Like they are beautiful. They are I think they're white, and that's the only color you can get them on because the little Nike swoosh is a contribution grid. So, like, do you know the green squares?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're
Oh
unbelievable. Like,
man.
I died when I saw them. I had a meeting to see this stuff today, and it looks amazing. And so that's something that you can enter. You come by the booth, and by then I will have more information as to how you can participate on that
Yeah.
giveaway. But you get to basically get that custom made pair of Nike Air Ones for you, which I think is pretty dope. And it matches like all of the new swag. They're not even on the store. Like we'll have some of the new GitHub Shop swag, which is
Look at
beautiful.
that. I haven't even seen that yet.
Listen, there's a hat. This is the hat, right?
Yeah.
And then the socks say footer on
Come
them.
on.
And they're tube socks, which I
Come
love.
on,
You just
Roxy.
can't. You
Where's
can.
Roxy?
You can. Like they're amazing. They're
Oh,
unbelievable.
wow.
They're
Look at
unbelievable.
that. You
Yeah.
heard it here first, folks.
Yes. There's gonna be a lot of fun stuff. And there's gonna be a lot of fun people at the booth. So please come by, talk to us. Um, honestly, I hope I can see you at the workshop the day before. If you're able to sign up for that, take advantage of that. Like I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, really. We're gonna try and keep it fun, fun, fun.
Yeah, I think that's going to be great. What are you looking forward to? Like, what's your big draw to going to events like this?
Well, render is special because it's render. Like
Yeah.
render is listen, selfishly, anytime I'm in a place where like I'm like, look at all these beautiful black and brown people, and we're all here. Like it is to me, that's like, oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Like that's such an incredibly like well across representation conference.
Mm,
So I love it. And the talent that it attracts is unbelievable. The things that Justin has done with this conference in like what is it, 4 years,
yeah.
3 years, 4 years,
Yeah, I think four. I think this is the
unbelievable.
fourth. Yeah.
This conference is an institution now of excellence and of amazing talent and great speakers. And now they have backing from like incredible sponsors. Like Delta is the official airline of the conference. What?
Yeah.
Like what
Yeah.
conference does that? So I just think it's a super high quality conference, and it's got such an incredible vibe. I remember the first year that I went, I loved it. I loved all the adjunct events. Like we had a thing at a trap house that it was like this huge art exhibit, and it was music and it was vibes. It was just it's a different kind of conference. This is not your usual conference.
Yeah.
But the value, like, if you want to meet people, if you want to up level your technical skills, if you want to maybe get your next job, like this is all happening there. So I'm super
Mm,
excited for it.
absolutely. I mean, my first conference was Render last year,
Yeah.
and if it wasn't for that, I do not think that I would be in the position I am, because again, it was a catalyst for so many things that came after that. So I strongly support going to conferences and networking your butt off, and
Hmm.
taking all the opportunities that you can. Oh, excuse me, frog. Okay, we have a couple minutes left, and again, I'll drop Andrea's link to her Twitter here. You can check her out. Go give her a follow. And here is her homepage, andreagriffiths.dev. She's got a great vlog and a blog and a bunch of other information you can check out, and all her other socials. So please make sure you go connect. And last question: what does success look like to you?
Ooh, I love that question. That's such a hard question, Jason. Like,
I
I did
always
not
ask
get.
it at the end. I probably
I
should
did
start with
not
it.
get. I did not get these questions in advance.
That's true.
What is success means to me? I mean, I think. Hmm, like I love to say I'm there. Like I'm very grateful for the opportunities that I've had, and I'm even more grateful that I've been able to even pay for some of those opportunities, right? So I think out of everything that I ever done, that's the part where I take back. If something that I said, whether it be you watch a stream and you were struggling with something and then now you're not,
Hmm,
or I actually made an introduction for you and you got a job, or like anything like that that I feel like is actual real value, like for other people, then I would consider myself like, yes, you did right, like you were successful. If my children are like happy, healthy, hopefully wealthy by means of either mom and daddy or their own interests in life, but like that to me, that would be success. Like that everyone more like outside of me is achieve greatness and I've been able to play a tiny part on that somehow. Like that's success. Yeah.
I love that. That's, yeah, I would say one of the very close to what I have a few bullet points, but for
Hmm.
me it's always like paying it forward and like
Hmm.
helping others. Um, I love that. Well, that is awesome. Andrea, thank you again so much
Thank
for
you.
hanging out with us today. Everybody go connect. You can see what we have coming up again in the Community page. And I mean, everybody already uses GitHub, so I can't really plug your product, but we're all there anyways. But make sure
Yes.
you go check out the booth at Render if you are
Yes,
going.
please. And if you have a ticket, please DM Jason because Jason now has two
Yeah,
that he can give
I
to
got
you.
two, and I will give them to you. Just message me. I would love to
Yes.
see you, and then you can take pictures with us and say, "Hey, look, it's us." Um,
Yes.
don't do that. That would be weird. That sounded terrible. I need coffee. All right. Well, Andrea, I'll let you get back to your day and maybe your
Jason,
family.
can I take
Maybe
a
your family.
picture with you when I meet you? Is that okay?
Yes, you can. That's fine.
Oh
I'm
my
sure we
gosh.
will hang out a little bit,
Yeah, yeah. It's
but
gonna be fun.
it will be. So we will see everybody IRL next week at Render.
Yes.
Next Monday, I do have our redo of Roselle Scarlet, the Devril over at Block, I believe, is
What?
she? Yeah.
Yeah, Riz. I used to work with Rizal.
Yeah,
Like,
she can't. She was in the chat earlier. She said you're doing amazing. So
oh,
yeah,
thank you, Rizal. That means a
keep.
lot coming from her because she is amazing.
Yeah,
She's so good at her job.
she's awesome. I'm excited to talk to her because we've never done one of these just like us, and that's what's fun about the conversation. So I will let everybody have the rest of their Monday back. I hope you have a great day, and remember, it is nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. We'll see you around, guys.
You need to put that on a t-shirt. I love
I
it.
I do. I will. I'll make one for you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.